We reached the precipice of our day once again here at Tenrek, our final BO3 of the night in our second final group of the week as well. QOR NBG. One goes home, one survives. Let's see who it'll be. I'm Ravishing Ravish, and the boy, Big T, man. How are we feeling today?
I'm feeling so good after these first opening matches, Ravish. It's been, I don't want to say a long day, but certainly a very an emotional roller coaster of a day for these teams, for these players, for these chatters, for us here in the booth, in the green room. It has been a wild back and forth figuring out what matchup is going to end the day, and it turns out it's one that started the day. QOR taking on Nightblood Gaming for this last spot out of the group.
Yes, sir, exactly. Now, both QOR and Nightblood have been through the absolute ringer, playing, I believe, around an equal number of maps throughout the day as well, too. I find QOR having a bit of a closer time in terms of these maps, right? Usually going the distance around 13 10s, 13 9s, 11s, and so on. Meanwhile, for NBG, it's been a bit of a toss-ups. You know, they've taken very dominant maps, and others they've had some fast rounds. Let's just say. So, so here though, between the two of them, as we'll recount, they actually did come back and play not too long ago on Ascent on the first map. In fact, at the beginning of the day. And that series, Tenrek, was amazingly close. On Ascent, they went 13-11 with NBG, just barely clutching that out, especially in the defensive half. And starting off on same sides here, once again, let's see if Nightblood can do the same thing, repeat history, or if QOR can change the narrative.
The buck stops here at the pick bans when it comes to this match versus the previous one. Abyss and Bind remain the opening bans, and Ascent remains the opening pick, but we'll be going to Split as our second map, as opposed to Pearl, where they went last time. QOR, though, like you said, they elected to start on defense last time. They will once again this time around, and Sogo is already inside. Boney's walked in quite far. This QOR squad, massive makeover during the offseason. Only Snarly from the OG squad remains from Split 2. Boney trying to get a good opener, but Sogo has the better swing, and NBG see that as the moment to press the trigger. Logan holding down the long sight, so is Alexander, but both of them get only one between him, and NBG is in sight. Not before they'll try and re-up on Nerve, but Nerve is able to refrag. Fireball somehow finds that, though, on the way back, and NBG 3v1, they set their sights on B instead.
Fireball has had some absolutely incredible and head-scratching picks that he managed to get throughout the entire day. So I find that's really no surprise to what we've seen already from what them and the entire team can do out of NBG. Was Snarly just left alive in a 1v3 with the classic to his name. He could probably start to pick up the ghost, but now the door being closed against him. He'll take the Sheriff Mantle, look to go flank around, but instead he opts to break the door, give away the position, and take the fight 1v1, but the smoke will make the decision for him as where he has to go peek. Definitely not expecting Sogo to be there, and he has his hammer up, but not his gun.
I respect him trying to outspeed the one way, but unfortunately, NBG a little too much time, and the smoke is back in time for Win to force a lack of options out of Snarly in the 1v3. Their approach was aggressive enough. That's all you can really say about the pistol round. QOR failed to meet the mark when NBG tried to strike. They were not ready, simply put, and if that continues, then NBG is going to take this map again.
Yes, this should do.
Easily so, but if we once again take a look back at the stats here, Jenner, right? If we remember and look at the prophecy, as I like to call it, NBG was a second half team. Currently on Ascent, right? We were looking at about an 8-4, and then it was a runaway train pretty consistently afterwards, almost 9 rounds in a row, I believe. So it's not happening again just yet, though. See what does I manage to get done. Rob Ops sees it.
No escape.
The little pickoffs too.
Spike down.
5 more. Yeah, that's just jumping a little bit too good. And now finishes it off. I mean, bonus goes it away. But I want to harken back a bit to the point you were talking about before as well, Tanner. You were talking about the changes that QOR have made to the roster and pretty much how they look now.
Yes. Like I said, Snarly. Yes. Sorry. Sorry. I thought you were gonna go into. Sorry. But Snarly, yeah, like I said, the only remaining member from Split 2, and then QOR Gaming elected to bring in 2 duos from 2 different squads. Nerve and Alexander from the still budding SAD Esports, who underwent a change of its own. And Logan and Boney coming over from the just blossoming Berserkers. This was a really early pickup core, trying to invest early on in talent. But it's also necessitated a slight change in roles. Alexander has gone once again back to the Sentinel, while Boney has tried to take up the mantle of this duelist. Once again trying to play the Yoru on this mid line here in Ascent. NBG fresh off of an embarrassment from Rankers here on Ascent to end their last series, to bring them right back down here to sudden death. Snarly good for 2 on the opener, and that'll lessen a lot of the damage that NBG are trying to do on this bonus for bonus challenge.
A beautiful 2 taken by Snarly, as well, with a nade landing at the exact perfect time, throwing off the crosshair. That was from Alum. Although they lose the Odin B main, they'll to recuperate by just taking them off one by one. Snarly was low enough, but now Nerve catches the back of Fireball, leaving it now in a 2v2. This isn't too bad for Core, who definitely want to convert their bonus. They'll get on the site, at least for the side of NBG. Odin should be looking to be covered, as Kess as there, up and expects almost the peak to come in. Sees the shoulder, the second they're likely not accounted for. Or they're likely thinking Alexander's probably going to come back through main. Sogo and Kess. What's the play on site?
Nothing to work with.
One enemy remaining.
NBG maybe counting. Kess early swing. And that'll leave Sogo with the mantle. Unsure of where he can be. All the way in lane. Great extension to guarantee the third for Nightblood Gaming. And they still had an economy to make up for it, even if they didn't win this one. But they'll still have the Odin, and they'll have a mountain of creds to work with going into this round. Meanwhile, Core, once again, completely and utterly reset.
This is very different from what we saw from NBG as well in their first map of the day. Especially between Core, where it was a runaway. I mean, six rounds in a row. For Core taken pretty handily too, I might add. On the other end, now for Nightblood, looking a lot better. Especially now with the bonus converted too, they should be able to easily take a 4-0 start. So definitely not what Core wants, especially coming off of a very hard-fought victory against Roach. A close comeback with 11-11. For now, though, Odin being spammed. His Bonnie in the corner doesn't actually get baited up by the clone. Alan will wait to see if anybody else peeks him. There is a crossbar also set up there too, in case Bonnie does go down. Someone can actually peek out of mid as well, but Dosh will catch it. He has to swing, jumps out, all gone, and Logan cannot trade him.
Easy advance for NBG. A non-committal one, though.
I know.
With so much presence on the A main as well. Looks like they might opt to still extend into tree, but they have options and more than enough time. Cypher Ultimate already cycled as well, just to assess their options, and they'll go for the one that the Cypher's on, but it happens to be where all of the Sentinel util is, so it's gotta be drip or drown for Nightblood Gaming. Luckily, Nerve falls early on, so it comes down to the rush up against Alexander here on site, but they're taking a little too much time up here in tree, and that'll give a lot of time for the rest of the core to make their way back. Snarly opener on the Sheriff, but still the gun diff protrudes, and NBG extends. They'll get on site, they'll get spiked down, they got 4 men up. Might as well take the rest of the fight now, and Core will bite the bullet. NBG up 4 up.
And that's a round you are expected to lose naturally, considering what Core were bringing to the table. And fortunately, you mentioned about dripping and drowning. Well, drip they had none of, so drown they did, Sally Tendering. That leaves us now, at least now with the buy for Core. It is that pinball economy, as I like to say. The back and forth between their buys. They do have the Annihilation available to in one way as well from their little theft for Alexander. But nothing substantial to be able to open up these rounds just yet. Bonnie needing a dimensional drift would be clutch if they want to surmise where NBG are looking to stay. There's a full stack over on A. They're getting flashed out with the space. This is just what I was talking about, though. It's onto the side. Alan, no, it's exactly the same. Doesn't see everything up by heaven. Annihilation. Popped it. I didn't caught it either, but the part of Fireball Hops taking 3. Pops out. The entire team cleared within a matter of seconds. That's crazy. The hit
Spike planted.
Good. The defense was possible, but it all goes wary.
Already halfway to an ult that didn't even land on the opening, but pressing it was enough to get the space, and then he just hopped up to heaven and got the kills too. Boney probably gonna save. maybe look for a kill here, but NBG, they have enough time to get hungry, and they have the players to land the shots. Zogo, another one on the board. NBG, another one on the board. I see it's a pattern.
You don't say. Yeah, that's it's a pretty easy and dominant start. Much you add, yeah. For NBG, yeah, it's pretty solid. Sogo is just raking in creds at this point, maxed out. 8-0, 8-3, like really nice. Especially the Cypher too on the attack. Sogo having a field day with this stuff. Look at the setup right now. 4 core. Looking to triple stack up into B. Definitely to peek up past the flashes. There are 3 around. Bonnie, they're possibly looking to set up for the swing. TP's in though. Oh, Logan punishes the over-aggression from NBG.
On the grab net on top of it. That's perfect timing by Core. They'll just let the Annihilation fly too. But Bonnie is going to get ahead of it as well.
One enemy
flash into a kill of their own.
Spike down.
And everybody from Core getting in on the action this time to make sure that spike drops. Quinn, lone lurker, a lot of work ahead of him. But pretty stacked team and a lot of time on the board. Could definitely at least play with this to maybe get a couple frags along the way. And with that unstable eco, that is still important here for NBG's bottom line, which is get rounds on attack. Get them while you can. Paranoia on top of the TP. They know he's in, and they have a lot of players ready for it. Core on the board.
Yeah, a thrifty on top of the mighty. A triple stack on B, working out beautifully, especially punishing. NBG looking to make a stack of their own to walk into B main, and with 2 being gone, that very zealous TP, and with no one else to play off of him, it's wall bang, 3 gone within a matter of seconds. And Core with a much needed round to stabilize their economy, and also all of them staying alive here too. That is huge to ensure that they're not stuck in such a decrepit state in terms of their actual wallet.
Over there.
Unless for NBG, they got more than enough to play with too.
Throwing next.
Sold, especially from Keys, who want to use that for the post plan.
Nowhere to run. Very
Initially.
Yeah, right off the bat here, if you find someone, get them snarly, snipped out, and gone from the equation. NBG gonna try and pile drive on top of that, but Core have players here on A site, and the rest of the team is scurrying.
I'll handle this.
Right along with them. Bonnie on the ground, Dimensional Drift in tow. And we'll get so much intel here on site. NBG just have to live with that fact and try to get somebody in the wing. Sogo is in, but Logan has fielded him out, and with a shock dart, he's able to finish him after the spray. Bonnie, nice peek to catch Kess as well, and Core will lock up another round. It took 5, but it seems like they might have their finger on the pulse.
And it's like I'm looking at a different team.
Don't give them time to do
the first 5 rounds.
Took off your glasses, put your hair down, and you're a whole new woman.
I'm
Core's a whole new
right?
woman, dude.
Yeah, this is such a flip-flop look. What we saw on the first bit of the defensive half, like Core were getting overwhelmed. They weren't responding to many peaks. Fireball was managed to get 5 on a site. It was like dry walking in past this 1 Yoru flash. So it was impressive. But now here go. The switch of happens. NBG are the ones getting kind of dominated in the past too. We'll see that switch though. We did mention their overzealousness and just their need to find a play super far forward up against Core. Here though, they take a much more default approach. They'll play the attack, right? The 2-2-1 split on a set. As they take some space, something found by mid. The triple stack over in B main, once again holding strong. Spike is leaning towards there though, but you don't really want to wait for 2 rounds to go. Here.
Bonnie still housekeeping on the retreat to make sure that NBG doesn't have any pressure up this B lane that they're still trying to pay some attention to. But it's all for this stall so that they can gain the market presence. Snarly has been forced so far back, and while the wall is up, it's far too late. Bonnie's good for his, though. And Logan can follow up from the back. Both sight lines managed, both openers gone. Alim's still on the field, though, and now on the site. Good to take out the Ditto, which necessitates the TP from Nerve to Boathouse to restructure the B site, give it some more foundation.
30 seconds
and that'll
left.
just give the call to NBG to rotate over to A site, safe for, unfortunately, Alim, who has to wait for this wall to go down. Snarly, nice interception of Fireball. And Sogo's pretty lonely here right now. That's very tragic. Very fragmented push at the end of the day here. Core did a good job of kind of snipping this in half.
10 seconds left.
And now Alim is the only one left all alone. Bro's got no friends, no crypto, no wallet, right? One
Bro got no
gun,
motion.
no motion, no ultimate out there too. So he's in a pretty decrepit state for what's going on at 3 in a row
Don't
for
stop
Core.
fighting. You
gotta
keep
feel
going,
good.
even if you're
An
alone.
immediate momentum switch, and I want to actually attribute a bit of that to Snarly as well too, where Snarly, we saw in the first pistol round, right, right away was managing to get 2 and punishing off the overaggression from Nightball Gaming, and now from here changing it up by landing actually really crucial nades. Although sensors are kind of working out for them, but to punish the rest of the team after the wall goes down. And initially he's taking these fights too. He's taking first contacts against like 2 or 3 members of Nightball Gaming. He does have trade angles available for himself with either Logan or Nerve nearby, or even Alexander on certain setups too. But hey, so far Snarly doing a really good job. So I'm thinking this may be the switch of the core definitely needed. But for NBG at this point, what's the mix, right? Where do we go from here? Considering we've got to calm down a bit. That was definitely breathe. I remember talking to a lot of coaches that. Did you know that a lot of these like timeouts that don't necessarily mean about strats and macro, half the time it's like, yo, boys, our comms are whack. Y'all need to breathe. Let's
100%.
scale it down. Let's
Absolutely.
yeah.
I mean, you'll listen to like tier 1 North American players, and they'll let their emotions like get the better of them like 5 rounds in. It happens to literally everybody, and so having that coach be your vibes merchant from time to time even is really great. In NBG, they need a heat check to some degree. They're not playing the aggression the way they did in those opening 5 rounds that got them so many easy kills, easy space. They're getting reboxed in. Snarly has kind of refurbished the util to suit Core's long-term fighting style, and NBG, they have to cook up something right back.
Over there.
Similar split that we had, but instead it's a 2-3 they want to take. Spike still then towards the beaming against all the Cypher util, use the annihilation to force them back as almost as a threat source. Like a rattlesnake hissing its tail to tell them to back off, but Rox with just enough time. They get some shadow control, but not on site just yet. Gotta go up against all the weaponry. Logan and Alexander clear up with lane and stairs. It's a 2v5, and that's odds they like. One more just left. Win. We'll take one, but it's just one. A gun to maybe get out, but they know exactly where he is. Brother Huyen, where do we go from here? Do we fight or do we survive? I think survive is the safer option, but fighting is what he's left with.
Fortunately, NBG did the kind of aggression that I think would have worked. Unfortunately, they pushed with a Gravnet into an Odin. Logan does not need to do anything in that situation, unfortunately. So NBG pretty screwed on that push-in. Really, ultimately, no pressure on the site once they got there, but so much pressure leading up to it, right? Their ability to trade cage for cage, Yoru blind for Yoru decoy, just their ability to ultimately placate and slowly course through. Again, it's the formula. They just have to complete.
Yeah, that's one part of the equation that remains between the two of them. And considering the way the core have caught up, then it seems like they clearly know how to do the quadratic formula with the way they're interrupting every single thing. 1 + 1 may equal 2, but they're trying to make sure that equals 4. That makes sense.
Core's on some Y = MX + B type.
I'm saying, bro.
Unspotted.
Woo! Nice. A second. Come on. Body. Show me another body.
Oh, Brian. You gotta shoot that. I mean, that's just... Ow! He still gets one anyway!
Mid.
What?
Do it again. Do it again, buddy. I want to see it for all the men.
I got the spike.
That's not good. Let's
I'll
go.
handle this.
Yeah. Well, now Aelin with that kill is actually able to dimensional drift, so NBG do still have a pretty good prying shot at this. Quinn TP's past the deadlock wall purely to get a second guy on site. I
30
love
seconds left.
that level of brazenness. And also recognition that you kind of want to get one more ult in here before the half is done. Big Cypher ult to open things up from Alexander will again guarantee that Sogo is still stuck on the main door, unfortunately, and at both of the remainder of the post plant. defense is in hell. But how do you swing this? You gotta smoke it out first, so they'll wait that out, and then they'll make the drop. Time is becoming very limited, and Win has one hell of an angle with the shotgun. Good for only one, though. Now it's Alum who has to sit inside this smoke and take all of the punishment, and he almost does! But Logan's still standing and able to bring QOR to a tie game.
I was just thinking, too, that they were almost running out of time considering how long they were taking on the peak, but they take the paranoia, and they were looking to find an angle to at least get the Cypher ult off as well, too. They realized that Logan was, Alum was already down below by hell pretty early on, and considering the paranoia came from, so they were okay, if we drop down, we're gonna have to phase 2. They weren't aware of everybody on site. Cypher ult committed at a pretty crucial spot, so which allows them to just easy come around there, wrap around through trees, and from there, open the side up. Snarly and Logan once again playing hand in hand. And now from here, QOR with 5 of their own in a row as well. Let's see if they continue that streak. They got an op in hand. A good buy from both these sides. Nice little dart right into spawn. And that dart, that's so much value.
Logan's just with it, dude. Almost tracked down another. But just a tap what they'll settle for. Kess, down to half. And that was off of, that was justified as Bonnie making that space in the courtyard with the Dimensional Drift early so that ultimately Logan could narrow it down to either they are in B main or I'm not using my ult yet.
Bonnie will slow play this too. Staying 2, looking to scale up on the angle. I think Whale presence, Bonnie checks him, puts up the flash to delay them and repositions to go up towards heaven. Yeah, survives is a crucial part though. That's still 40 seconds left right now, so that game would have to make a choice to where they want to go. They break the door.
Shadows traveling.
As they really smoke off towards the back of the site near Boathouse store, there's 2 are still there.
30 seconds left.
Still barely around site. Oh my god, what is that swing for Win?
That's
surviving, but not for much longer. Only a couple more seconds. Leaving Nerve to run away. Have to give up all that space. Annihilation also sent out, but mid was cleared. They're rotating over, but I'm gonna say into just one. A trade is there. Alexander has to go big here. He's cornered by 2, and he can't do much more than that. It's too much time. It's too much fire. And leave them with a spike down finally.
But 36 collective health between what's left of Nightblood. And 2 recons for Logan. He could deal with this post plant before even looking at it. But any steps, first drop.
There it is.
Any time that he's decided to get peeked on, it's over. He has to do so much homework and he'll immediately get pressed. Guess this wrong one time and you're done. Nightblood back on top. I can't believe that's the attack that worked, man. Turning around after Quinn fails to get that first pick, but then immediately jumping on top of it and then still just W-keying your way through. I mean, that was ranked adrenaline taken over for what was left of Nightblood.
Yeah, like even with Alum as well, because they saw that he was looking to hold around by spawn up against Bonnie, so you're realizing, okay, maybe we can take spawn space and try to circle back in through B, but because they don't clear everybody out, they just try to force it. No, door open, circle around, and again we go. Bonnie sees one, but shots will go a bit wide. That does take, a decent chunk of health of Alum, though.
A wee bit. Oh, but he's not dead, and that means he's still useful. Alexander. Pretty far in. And now, I'm gonna try and crunch the Silver even more. Bonnie luckily shut that down early on, but Nightblood now, they force so much attention to this that they can press A a whole lot faster and easier, along with the help of the Cypher ultimate Nerve as an excuse to step out and then TP right back to the block. Perfect timing on the TP, wasting so much time. But he'll still fall, and NBG will still zone out. Still a 3v2. Hunter's Fury for Kess as well. This should be wrapped up pretty nicely. Blind to open up, 1-for-1, and the lineup will hold it down. Close ones to end this half.
Switching sides.
Nightblood, after a 5 streak, a timeout taken, and 2 to end it off, still keeping their lead on Ascent. And for QOR, it seemed like they had the sauce to counter everything Nightblood did, but instead NBG, what they changed was how they were splitting up and how they were defaulting to get into these sites, right? It was just it was a 3-2 instead, not too far spread out, and still with that B lean, and instead looking to actually capture more space than usual. Through mid, through spawn, and then some. And from here, though, we'll see if the same trend continues. Blood were explosive on the start, but QOR have been known to match everybody's energy where they can. The A lean here with all four, but that barrier mesh is going to be such a disturbance to whatever they want to do.
Such a massive part of the modern Ascent. It's immediately just collapsing on an option. Rarely can you fully deny something as holy as the way you can with a deadlock wall on the pistol round, where everything just feels so paper thin. It'll fade away though. With 58 seconds to go, QOR still look fresh and clean with a 4 stack up the right channel.
Some sound remaining still. With all 5 still alive, they're looking to try to sell the fake with Alexander specifically being there, but Nightblood aren't falling for it. Here comes in the mesh, and the nade.
30 seconds left.
Cut off trees, they'll spray through the smoke. And a fake TV to distract them, but it's just for a couple of seconds. Fireball ops takes 2 quick succession, but it's spawned in kind. It's up to Allen up top. The spike can't go down just yet. They got 15 seconds. Allen falls. And now they got the space to plant. But it has to be here. It has to be now. They got 10 seconds. They didn't commit. So it takes both of them.
I have retrieved
and
the spike.
They started to fight. And at what cost? Sogo with that same classic. Doing work.
That is such a tragic choke from QOR. I am absolutely amazed by that. Perfect take. Alexander perfectly stalling, just exhuming presence, not even hiding at that point. Just saying, yeah, cross me, I dare you.
Oh, this is
I might still be selling this. Maybe we're coming back to this. And Sogo and Kess were stuck in B for millennium. And yet, just as they come back, oops, Spike's not down, oops, 15 seconds on the clock, oops. We've lost one of the most crucial rounds this game to get us back in. Nightblood are locked up.
But they're still locked out.
As soon as I say that.
Okay. A good opener, Allen, but that's not a win, but the judge is on a bit of an awkward angle at this point. Still gets his one, though. His counterpart taken. They're all crouching. And beautifully well done. Oh, my God. It's a fire range for him. But only 2 shots down before he has to exit out. Speed wish the 3v2 not left behind. Apple Gaming looking to convert their bonus, but it's looking a bit tougher and tougher as time goes on. Logan and Snarly still, but only with classics currently. Spike scales through mid after go up against Cypher Util, as that can be activated by Sogo at any time. Camera rotating just yet, but the trip is around mid. They will be spotted. Look at catching the timing. Sees him. Spray. He's good for it.
Spike down mid.
One falls. Logan looking to survive as long as he can, but he knows. A trip. Yeah. Walks in. Bye-bye.
Weapon here.
And keeping 3 stable there. Again, solid patience once Allen falled. But not learning his lesson, clearly going for that outlaw again. And unfortunately, only body shot nerf to kill. So make sure you're finding the dome there, Allen, for wherever you're gonna be posted up, which again, once again appears to be mid. This is almost like an inflatable, like one of those inflatables you see at a car,
That goes there.
like at a car show. Like he's begging you to come over to that mid spot. Pretty please. I have a gun that will not kill 4 of you.
My eyes are down.
Yeah, just I think it's the wacky inflatable arm flailing tubeman is what you're referring
Yes,
to.
that was perfect. Yes, thank you.
Placker said a lot for a Family Guy, but this is wacky as well. Oh, shotguns. For the mid instead, they'll reposition again. This similar split that we saw from QOR as well too. Walking through B. Oh, here for the timing is so good. Judge gone once again. spaces out perfectly. Not be opened up. Alim waiting for his chance to walk through the smoke. Shot lined up, but not enough. Caught behind the mesh. And the cautiously helps out Cass, but only for one.
Back soon.
And to leave things
I
here.
have the spike.
Core finally get the round chance and
enemy
opportunity with 3 against 1.
Spike planted.
A little bit stunted. Everyone a little bit uncertain of how to manage that push, mid push. But they still got the job done. Still into the kills. And everybody did end up finding value, which is something Snarly is really going to have to hunt for the way that Fireball Ops did on this attack.
Okay. Hold them to their grave.
And he still does.
Reeling
Into
them in.
Boathouse with the ultimate, and that will certainly find one. Does plenty of the space to fire this? Certainly not. Flashes himself before he even swings and wins it out.
A beautifully patient play, allowing his teammate to be sacrificed. I mean, but knowing that, you know what, this is a lost cause. I'ma hold my own. He said, yo, don't worry about me, champ. I'ma do me, you do you. And he truly does. Holds the sight down. And Core convert the bonus. Well done by them. But now here is where the true test starts once again. Now look, Alim as well also looking not too great with the weapon he has, but if you can get one, that's all that requires. Shots taken, just one body. I believe it does enough damage to at least scare Alim off, but not enough to secure much more space.
And now Snarly can just take his place, and Alim will use another chamber to catch Snarly, so ultimately finds enough value, but will give his life away, and that will open up mid and or force Win to watch it.
Caught one.
Force Smoke in defeat main as Cass is firing down that lane when that recon procs. Perfectly timed defense yet again from this Sova, who is just going to spray through the second he even hears Nerve waving his little hand. Almost 4, but Alex will at least shut that dream down, but still, this is absolutely undoable for Core. NBG starting to build another dynasty in the bank this half.
That was a beautiful way to play out the kill from right round. Boom. Yep. Shotguns. Like I was saying, the Owen spam though works out so well, especially with them placing the trip right by mid in near kitchen. So they decide, you know what? They know they're gonna go for switch, and with the smoke right there for forecast, right? It's really well timed and played too. So not through this. Nightblood will force his time out from Core, considering the previous round was a decent bit of a shutout. So I wonder what Core decide to do in terms of the adaptations. They're definitely planning for the round afterwards, or considering the eco they have currently. There's no big ultimate to be online with, except Alexander's one away from his, right? So that can definitely help out. Roll Theft previously, you know, of course, all the infos, big W +1 for sure. Aside from that though, it's Core. I think they've got to reimagine how they want the side hits to be done, because the mid plays are not working out so well.
Yeah, I mean they're doing what Core. The problem is Core is doing exactly what they intend to do, but they're losing so much along the way that you really have to question the worth of it. Like these mid plays aren't not working because like Core isn't doing them right. It's just Core is like losing the fights on the way there, and then obviously they're not going to have enough to actually completely make it through. If you're gonna try and run through 2 doors instead of 1, obviously you're gonna be a little bit shaken before you hit that second one. And Core so far, they're just running into a slammed door and bouncing right back.
Shadows traveling.
My ult.
Hey, Outlaw's gonna find him this time.
Decoy. Yeah.
You feel like you call the timeout after this round, or you feel like this was the round to call it?
Well,
Not
I'll
ready
tell you
yet.
right now, because it seems though my mic muted itself once again.
Oh, dang it!
Oopsie, that's okay. But I was saying, hey, good job from good job from taking that. Wait,
Spike
another
down
shorty
A.
shot. Nerval jumps and right click.
It's a 2v1.
Oh my god, that thing is a shotgun essentially too. Like you're saying, a 2v1, and Core making this all the more possible because their Nerve also has a Vandal here too. But all of 66 health, but this is doable. If Alhim sees him though, it's a one-shot kill. He just has to not get seen. That's it.
30 seconds
He's
left.
taking his time. They don't hear all this. The plant going down now on the site here, Saturday. Are we going to reposition towards offside? Yes, he does. He has one TP for the fake. Look at this. Look. Both are going to go through heaven. Alhim committing the dimensional drift to this is huge because they can exactly realize where he's looking to hold. And now through this too, you can hold him off pretty much all off site. They have to know he's holding way off main. They have to know past this too. Yeah, he flashes for it as well. And Nerves tanks both of those. Really well played by Alhim.
Weapon here.
Very well played by Alhim. Ability to hold on to both of those. Just take that. But it goes to show how much Core were willing to drag NBG the distance this round. Really appreciate that CP coming in from Nerve. That was really well placed.
I need a drop.
But reaction from NBG, unfortunately, enough to once again lock it down. And so now we're back to the full buy. Now we're back to Core. I mean, this will be their last chance at holding on to a full buy.
Thanks.
And they
Time to
have
jump.
a Cypher ult to kind of jump off of. Maybe they want to get an aggressive Logan ult in there, which is why we'll see, yeah, Alhim hold this early with the op to make sure you can't touch it. And Fireball doing the very same thing on B main. Really don't want to hand anything else over to this Core squad. 5 rounds is a small gap at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. Easily recoverable. See both of them.
Now mid's an option permanently. They can slow this round down so hard.
Yeah, they decide to actually peeking through. With nothing found around mid, they'll just scale back instead, but they go right to NBGs. They're holding these upwards angles, so up top and down below. 3 fall in quick session means that not for Core. What they had thought about in terms of what they wanted to get done immediately falls apart within seconds. Now with 2 left alive for Core. I think a save should be the real option.
It really doesn't feel like you can offer much to this, but
Yeah, because look at the ego tenor, right? It's like
Yeah.
they're still trying for this.
No.
30 seconds
I
left.
respect it.
I don't know if I don't know if there's room in the budget for this, guys. Alex is really in there. And you can almost feel him still asking the question of like, should we commit to trying to plant this?
Well, commit they are, my friend. They got 14 seconds, so it is either now or never,
Yeah,
and
we're
now
in.
is the answer.
10
Yeah.
seconds left.
Archery put out, Alexander tagged,
One
Alexander
enemy
dead.
remaining.
3rd shot, whiffs a bit, but they should know it's the worst. Snarly's not looking to hold
Barrier
to the back of the
deployed.
site. Snarly, 1 Vandal, 3 people. Let's get it started. Spotted. Oh no.
Yeah, early spot. And
Yep.
man, we were ready to make that an Odyssey. Well, positives here. You do have Hunter's Fury. You do have Neural Theft going into this round 19.
Match point.
And probably a half by now, right? Their ego's got to be kind of streaked into something relatively decent. Yeah, you get a Vandal in there. So not completely out of the woods here is Nightblood Gaming, and I loved that early round where they just sent that clone up, shot that trap wire down. You saw Kess already having to rezone to hold CT back, and I mean that's how we saw Nightblood open Core up early on in the previous half, was just by that passive space generated just by playing the court and not giving away these first bloods that Alhim has just been able to scoop up.
It's an easy start, too, considering he managed to land the first. He definitely saw the rest of the stack here as well. So now the questions for Core is they still have to commit to this. Charlie's all the way in. The mesh is put down, but they'll trade one more, and they'll just run their way in past the flashes.
I know exactly.
It's one after the next. The hard to treat is so much work for them to push by Nightblood. But still 3v3. One away from the drift for Alhim. If you're able to find one more pick, Nerve. Scaling in, past smokes, a bold and brazen play to take back some more heavy control, but This drone, he'll sneak past it. Cass has to take his gun out and right on time to save his life.
Really tried to outspeed that Odin and almost did.
Just maybe just been enough though to bring the round back. But the question is now is how do they take this, right? Still, not a ton to work with. He realized that one right off sight, Logan does enough. That's one of his own. Just good shots. Alexander now down below 3 health. So we can spam this. It's Cypher v Cypher. Is one where he picks it. Alexander saves the game.
What incredible discipline from Alexander, holding hell the entire time. And it was after QOR already committed so much to that round. Really felt like an uphill battle that entire way through. You couldn't completely play off of that neural theft. But no smoke available up B main. Let Alexander keep that security for the lineup at least a little while longer. Enough to spray through and win that fight. First of many QOR will have to hold on to. And now 2 more ults in the tank to take this next round, both of which very good for the aggression that QOR so desperately needs to start cashing in on.
Who's next?
My territory, my rules.
Push out the drift.
Throwing
Annihilation as well. Goes a bit of miss. Push out the flash. And the fake as well to bait them into it. But Fireball doesn't fall for this. Keeps it cool. Bonnie's still gone. A key part of what QOR needs to be able to open up more of these rounds is the flashes is there. That trip again. And with Soko playing off of it, falls one after the next. These kill trips are incredible. The value not taken, not 2 gone. Now QOR already are starting to look rough and things are now in dire status. One after the next, man. They haven't been able to find much more. They should realize where NBG are holding, but now for QOR, they gotta make a choice as to where they go. Do they actually try to still commit to A? But Alm's right behind them. He's watching them like it's a movie, but this was about to close. This is the last act for the map. NBG take a set.
Halen might as well have been a second observer for half of that game with the amount he was dimensional drifting and just opening up the site. And yet, half of the other half of the game, he was just sniping and getting opening first bloods over and over and over and over and over again. So many weak pushes coming from QOR that just did not give them the same half that Nightblood were licking their lips for in those opening 5 rounds of the first half. That aggression cannot be replicated here on Ascent, but it apparently also can't be replicated by QOR. Scary conception going into the second map.
An even start leading to a runway finish. And I did mention before, Nightblood on their defense, even in the first Ascent map they had, looked immaculate, and the story stays similar. But we've got a second map to play for and potentially a third. The next being split. QOR's pick. So y'all want to find out what's going to happen right after this.